Welcome to Comic Power. I am your host, Comic Killer 72. Welcome to Wicked Wednesday, where we discuss all the new comics that's coming out this week. Every Wednesday is like Christmas for us nerds because that's when the new comics come out. These are my recommendations for the best books to pick up on Wednesday. But here's some other information first. Fox has given us the first reveal of what Domino will look like in the Deadpool sequel, and it's been extremely controversial on the look. I made a quick flip video about this on August 3rd, 2017. Go back and watch that if you missed it. I'm also right around the corner from 1,000 subscribers. When I hit that milestone, I will have a giveaway prize. I'll give more information about that as I get close to 1K. But for now, let's get into what we came here for, and that's New Comic Day. And DC Comics is giving us Action Comics number 985. This is part 1 of the Eve of Destruction storyline. Supes has to team up with Lex Luthor again to take on the mysterious Mr. Oz. Next up is Harley Quinn number 25, and this is an oversized anniversary issue. That cover is both hilarious and brutal at the same time. The Frank Cho cover B variants continue as well, and this is a connecting one that connects to issue number 24. Number 24 variant looked like this, and number 25 variant looked like this, and together it looks like this. That's pretty cool. Showing the growth of Harley Quinn from then to now. Next up is The Flash number 28. Just like Harley Quinn and Batman, I recommend every issue that comes out, and all 3 of those come out every 2 weeks. You heard the Reverse Flash? Well, this is the negative Flash. Things are getting very interesting in The Flash. You should be keeping up what's going on. I'm loving his ongoing story, and the artwork really fits this character. Next up is Mr. Miracle number 1 of a 12-part miniseries. This is a character that DC is resurrecting from the New Gods universe created by Jack Kirby in the early 70s. Had he lived, Jack Kirby would be turning 100 years old this year. He's known as the King of Comics, and that title is well earned. This 12-part maxi series is written by Tom King. He's the same writer that is writing Batman. He also wrote The Sheriff of Babylon and Division. He's immensely talented, so I can't wait to see his take on this character. Mr. Miracle first appeared in Mr. Miracle number 1 from 1971. Kind of looking like the Vision and Iron Man had a baby, and it came out like this. Now, a moment of silence for Jack Kirby. Next up is Cyborg on trade paperback volume 2. This is part of the Danger in Detroit storyline, and it covers issues number 6 through 13. I believe that Cyborg is a way underrated character. He'll get some more love after people see him in live action in the Justice League movie coming out in November. Next up, Batman, because Batman is Batman. And that includes Detective Comics number 962. This is the finale of the Intelligence storyline, and it includes Azrael and has Zatanna on the cover. I like the cover B version better because it has Batman standing next to Azrael. He took over the role of Batman for a short period of time in the early 90s, and he was a more lethal version. Let's just say that. Next up is Batman Arkham Clayface trade paperback. This is a collection of numerous Clayface appearances in Batman comics and Batman related comics. The character has appeared in many different incarnations since 1940, and his first appearance is in Detective Comics number 40, which also has the distinction of being the first cover appearance of the Joker. Next up, let's see what Marvel is up to. First up is Captain America number 25, and this is a tie-in to Secret Empire. It looks like a showdown between Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers. And that's a very well-designed cover. And speaking of covers, there's a cover B variant that's drawn by Jack Kirby. There goes that name again. He's the co-creator of Captain America in the first place. Marvel is reprinting old artwork from him. Jack is well known for his gadgets. He had no source material to work from because he was doing this stuff in the 1960s. His science fiction is slowly becoming science fact. Next up is Generations, Phoenix and Jean Grey number 1. This may be confusing to some people because isn't Jean Grey the Phoenix in the first place? Or more accurately, possessed by the Phoenix Force? The answer is yes, but in this book, the teenage Jean Grey is basically going to use time travel and meet face to face with the newly possessed Phoenix, which is her future self, to try to save herself. Fox Studios is currently in development doing a Dark Phoenix saga movie, and Jean Grey as the Phoenix first appeared in X-Men 101 back in the 1970s. That's a huge key issue and one of the best covers in comics ever. It's been swiped a lot, as you can see. So will this Generations book be worth a lot in the future? Well, it depends on how well it's written. The covers look great and people love this character. She's the most famous female mutant of all time and a founding member of the X-Men back in 1963. Next up is The Inhumans Once and Future King number 1 of a 5-part miniseries. Smartly, Marvel is trying to sell this by making it look like Game of Thrones in outer space. So people that are not familiar with these characters have an idea of what's going on. But I wish they would stop doing the one-shots and the miniseries and the spin-offs and just do one proper Inhumans title and make it go. Next up is Star Wars spinoff Dr. Aphra number 11. I'm like a broken record when it comes to this title. I recommend it every month and I keep saying the same thing. They are continuing the 40th anniversary Star Wars variants as well. It made its debut in 1977. I wish I could make that Chewie sound, but I just can't do it. Next up is Star Wars Rogue One Cassian and K2SO Special number 1. This comic is based on characters from the Rogue One movie. It goes over details about what happened when these characters first met. Marvel is also giving us more of those $1 True Believer one-shots. And they're showing off characters that Jack Kirby co-created, such as Groot, making his first appearance in Tales to Astonish number 13. Groot and the ever-popular Baby Groot look very different from when he first appeared in comics. I don't think anyone had any idea this character was going to become this popular one day. There's also going to be True Believers Kirby introducing the Mighty Thor number 1. This is a reprint of Journey into Mystery number 83, which is the first appearance of Thor. As I stated earlier, Jack Kirby died in 1994, so he never got a chance to see his creations in movies. So I believe it's my duty to show that he is the king of comics and give him his just due. There's also going to be True Believers Kirby Thor versus Hulk number 1. This is a reprint of Journey into Mystery number 112, one of the first early appearances of Hulk fighting Thor. In the upcoming Thor Ragnarok movie, we're getting Thor versus Hulk in live action, so that's very exciting. Also remember that all 3 of these books are just $1 a piece. A great cheap way to look at Marvel's storied history. Next up is Secret Empire number 8 of a 10-part miniseries. And Mark Brooks is doing the covers, and he's doing an amazing job on these. These look epic. They're continuing the action figure variant, showing some of the best heroes in Marvel history and what they would look like as Hydra agents. Black Panther gets the treatment here. There's also the J Scott Campbell variants, but I don't think they're that good. He's a legendary artist and he's much better in this. I think he's just phoning it in. Am I being too hard on Campbell for his Secret Empire covers? I'd love to hear your feedback in the comment section. Is it just me, or do you think they're subpar as well? Next up is our report on independent comics and small publishers. First up is Sheena, number 0, also known as the Queen of the Jungle from Dynamite Entertainment. It's got a 25-cent introductory price to get you to try it out and try to get you hooked. It doesn't seem like it, but this character is actually older than Superman, making her debut way back in 1937. It was first published in the UK in Wags number 1. She made her first USA appearance in Jumbo Comics number 1 in 1938. There's a 1 in 100 variant that's drawn by J Scott Campbell. There goes that name again. And to me, this piece of art looks a whole lot better than the Secret Empire art he's been doing. Let's compare them. What do you think? It's a 1 in 100, but since the price is only 25 cents, stores will be able to qualify for this, so people will have a shot to get this variant if they want it. Next up is Toy Etica, number 1 from Action Lab Entertainment. It's the story of tiny humanoids that live next to people, and they have to survive by being models for children's toys. This is for readers that like stuff like ElfQuest that's a little offbeat. This is actually a pretty cool concept. Next up is Baby Teeth, number 3 from Aftershock Comics. This is the same writer who put out God Country and Redneck, Donny Cates. It's a story of a 16-year-old girl who has a baby and it turns out to be the Antichrist. Donny Cates is on fire this year in 2017. This is his breakout year, so you should be reading everything he's putting out. Next up is Equilibrium Deconstruction number 1 from American Mythology Productions. This is a comic that's based on the 2002 dystopian science fiction film that starred Christian Bale before he became Batman. It's a future world where feelings and artistic expression is outlawed. The movie was a box office flop, but it was just before its time. It's got a cult following. I would recommend that you check out the comic as well as the movie back in the archives. Next up is Mega Princess, which is going to trade paperback, collecting all 5 issues from this miniseries. Brought to you from Boom Studios, it's a story of a girl who has all the power of all the princesses in the world, but instead of becoming a regular princess, she wants to become a detective. This would be a good starter book for your little girl who wants to get into comics. Next up is Medicine on trade paperback. This is from Danger Zone Comics. It collects the first 3 issues of this hot new series. It's got one of the best premises I've seen in a long time. It's about down on their luck doctors that are forced to be healthcare providers for supervillains. It has some of the best writing I've read in a very long time. It really makes you appreciate the science fiction that only comics can deliver. If you missed the single issues, then you absolutely want this trade paperback. You'll be blown away. It's really well written. Next up is the Danger Doll Squad number 0, also from Danger Zone. This is a team up of all 3 of their female horror wacky properties, which include from left to right, Dollface, Zombie Tramp, and Vamp Blade. All three of them have a campy B-movie type of flavor to them. It's almost like if Andy Warhol did comic books, this is what he would create. Next up is The Shadow #1 from Dynamite Entertainment. He's a masked vigilante who goes out and fight crimes at night. First created in a 1930 radio show. Had a big influence on Batman, which was created 9 years later. There's going to be a million variants for this, including a Neil Adams signed cover variant, which will cost about $150. Next up is Skinned Earth #2. Also from Dynamite Entertainment. It's a post-apocalyptic future with a female lead, which we've seen a lot lately. But the writer and artist on this is female. She's from Canada and she's multi-talented. And she goes by the name of Lights. She's also a singer too, who's putting out an album on Warner Brothers. This is part 2 of a 6-part miniseries and it's worth checking out. Next up is First Strike from IDW Comics. This is a crossover of Hasbro properties, including the Transformers, Mask, and G.I. Joe. You get your choice of the main cover or 7 different variants, so pick your favorite and go. Next up is the Speculation Pick of the Week. And that's going to be Ghost Money #1 from Lion Forge Comics. Lion Forge reminds me of where Aftershock Comics was about 18 months ago. They're a new upstart publisher and putting out some amazing stuff, but they're still searching for a hit. Aftershock got their big hit in Animosity, and if I had to bet on it, I would say that Lion Forge's hit is this one right here, Ghost Money. And here's your premise. In the year 2020, a team of military veterans are out to uncover a secret fortune built on the ashes of 9/11. So vast it could disrupt the entire global economy. And the primary target is a beautiful young billionaire. That premise of the action heist sounds great, and the art on this is top notch. It's credited to Dominique Betrayal, and that person probably went through art school and was probably in the top of their class. This person draws landscapes so magnificently. So far, retailers have not stocked up on this company yet. Their print runs are just under 3,000 copies. So this is going to be very hard to find. You could even say it's going to be a ghost. Yeah, I'm an amateur comedian, very amateur. But seriously, when Lion Forge gets a hit, that book is going to blow through the roof because there's literally no copies out there. Give it a few weeks and see if I'm right about this one. Before we close, let's see what Image is up to, and that's always something good. Starting with Kill or Be Killed #11. This vigilante tale was nominated for an Eisner in 2017. I've been talking about it non-stop since I founded this channel. It's really, really good. Also dropping this week is the second trade paperback of Kill or Be Killed. It collects issues 5 through 10. It's the story arc where the NYPD discovers that there's a masked vigilante out there and they have to stop him. Next up is Divided States of Hysteria #3 from comic legend Howard Chaykin. And if he was trying to be controversial, he succeeded. It's about a near future dystopian America that's completely torn apart by violence, racism, and all kind of ills. It's already had a cover that's been banned, which had a man that was castrated that was being hanged. If you want nihilistic, gritty realism, then this is the comic for you. Next up is Low #19. This is the incredible sci-fi distant future story by Rick Remender about humanity having to go to the bottoms of the ocean to survive once the surface world becomes uninhabitable due to the expansion of the sun. 7 to Eternity was his big hit in 2016, but I always liked this series better. Next up is Redlands #1. This is a new horror series from Eisner Award winner Jordi Belair. It's the story of a small town in Florida in which the police are battling a coven of witches. Next up is Rose #5. This is a by the numbers, strong female lead with a revenge plot. The reason I'm recommending this is because issue #5 has a cover B variant by George Perez, the George Perez, a comic legend. So if you can get this cover B version for cover price, go ahead and pick it up and have him sign it when he comes to a con. He's a real nice guy. Next up is Spawn Vault Edition hardcover. This collects the first 7 issues of Spawn in its original artboard form, which have never been published before. This is for hardcore Spawn fans because it has a ticket price of $175. So you really have to love Spawn to pick up something like this. You know the drill. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, and share these videos on social media so others learn about Comic Power. That's about it for today. Thank you for watching Wicked Wednesday, where I review all the new comic books for a new comic day. Be sure to follow my blog at comicpower.net. On social media, follow me at facebook.com/comicpower.net and comicpower-universe.tumblr.com. And don't forget twitter.com/comicpowersub. I also sell comics on eBay at this link. This is Comic Killer 72 for Comic Power saying bye-bye. And don't forget to share this video, click on subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and tell everyone you know about this channel to help it grow. Thank you for your support.